Tell me a little bit about just what the vibe in the locker room was like after a win like this. Obviously, you guys laid it all out on the line. I think I heard some Bobby Shmurda, too, just to celebrate.
I mean, the first thing is, how about that? A little exciting. We like to keep things interesting over here in the Palouse. Palouse after dark, gotta love it. But no, anytime you come out with a victory, the locker room's always a good time. Obviously, we know we have a lot to learn from, and we'll make sure we take care of that when the time is right. But for right now, it's about enjoying a good win. That's what it's about.
Kyle, obviously you had the big pick, but can you talk about Quinn's play there on the 2-point conversion to knock that ball loose and seal it for you guys?
It's in the best way to put it, that's who Quinn is. You know, Quinn has always been that guy when it's time for him to make a big play, he always finds a way to make that game changer. You know, my mind instantly goes back to Wisconsin in 22 when he knocks that ball out after he knocks the ball out over the middle. That's just what Quinn is. He's an amazing ball player. So happy for him to finally get that moment, and couldn't be happier for him.
Another huge play for you, the interception that kind of set the offense up to take the lead. Can you just talk about your own game, 10 tackles, a pick, a tackle for loss? It just seems like these last couple of weeks, even more so, you've kind of found a new level, and that's, playing well and then playing well in the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it's just about it's going to sound cliche, but it's just trusting the process, I think in the past, when things weren't going my way, I'd find myself starting to push. And the moment you start to push in this game, that's when you start making mistakes. And really what it's about is just relying on your technique and trusting that if you just keep doing what you're supposed to do, the ball's going to find you. And funny thing about the pick is earlier in the game, they got us on a similar type concept. I told Steve, our corner, I said, hey, next time they do that, I got you. And sure enough, I got him.
Wrong end of a few close games like this last year. What is different about this team that helps you guys kind of come through in these spots?
The biggest change we've made is over the offseason, Coach Dickard did a great job talking about the 4 types of competitors. And the fourth and the highest level of competitor is the person that refuses to lose. And that's the phrase we were saying along the sideline all night tonight. We weren't going to lose that football game. It was a refuse to lose mindset. And honestly, it just carried over from last weekend, too. We've gotten to these close situations, but we know we're a refuse-to-lose kind of team. And when you attack that with that mindset, you see the result.
After San Jose State had the third quarter that they did, just what was going through your head? Was there any doubt? And then how important were just the conversations that you had on the sideline to combating that?
No, the conversations were huge. That's the thing about football that maybe people don't realize is as much as it is a technique game, there's also so much of an attitude, composure, and mindset level to it. And the sideline communication, like I said, was all just about refusing to lose, trusting the brother next to you, trusting the other side of the ball. Both sides knew we couldn't do it alone. As soon as defense got a stop, we knew offense needed to score. And as soon as offense scored, we know we needed to hold them to a stop. And so that's pretty much what was going through on the sideline.
Just 2 weeks in a row of clutch plays for you. Is this something that you envisioned when you got here in 2019 of just stepping in and making these moments?
No. If in 2019 someone would have told me I'd be here doing this in front of all you guys, I would have told you you're crazy, get out of here. It's unreal. It's really unreal. I don't even know where to start, where to begin, where to end. I'm just so blessed to be on this journey. So thankful.
Kyle, Coach was in here and was kind of taking the blame for a couple of play calls or saying he had a couple coaching errors that held you guys back. Would you agree with that? And maybe what does that say about him as a coach, just kind of taking the blame for those?
Like you said, that's exactly the kind of coach Coach Dickard is. He's always going to be the first one to say, look at me. It was my fault. And I know that's how he feels, but as players, it doesn't matter what the call is. Our job's to execute. Bad calls get fixed by good plays. And so ultimately it's the guys on the field that have to make the plays regardless of the call. The coaches do try their best to always put us in the best situations and always make it easy for us, but it's the nature of the beast. Sometimes they just can't. And when that happens, it's our job as players to step up and make the plays. And in the ending moments, we found a way to.
On both sides of the ball, there was just a lot of penalties. I think it was over almost 110 yards given up in penalties. How do you lose yards in a play and then all of a sudden snap back into it and it's like, hey, the play call might change now, but like we're locked in?
Yeah, again, it's just all about mindset, and it definitely is hard because there's a lot of ebbs and flows throughout the game, and obviously, like, whenever big plays happen, guys always get super excited and always get fired up. But I think the biggest thing you have to remember is you expect yourself to make those plays. And obviously you want to celebrate good plays because they are hard to come by. But like when you expect it to happen, you're a little easier to reset and refocus because you're like, yeah, I just did what I was supposed to. And I think as a defense and as a team as a whole, I think that's where our mindset's at. And credit to the team as a whole, bouncing back off the penalties. I know we found a way to make explosive plays after the penalties, good or bad, and I think that was the difference.
Obviously, a lot of yards in this game, both sides, but that's now 2 weeks in a row where the defense has kind of had their heels in the end zone on the 2-yard line in those situations, and you've obviously made the play as a defense both times. How much confidence does that kind of bring you now going forward as a unit to know that even when maybe some yards are being allowed, that you'll always hold up at the end of that?
No, it's absolutely huge, and I think it really just lends to more belief. And belief is twofold. A, you have to have the initial belief, but B, you actually have to be able to back up and prove that there's justification for you to have that belief. And I think as a defense, we've really shown that over these past 2 weeks that while it might not always be the prettiest, and yeah, there might be some gashes that get us all the way down there, when it comes time, push to shove, we know where we're at. And I think that's a really big thing to know, especially this early in the season.